Hi guys, day 2 Q&A. Everybody, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section or the chat section on YouTube, or you can tweet at LiveSciFi. Just give everybody excuse me, a little bit of a quick rundown from yesterday. We had some pretty crazy stuff happen. If you didn't get to watch the overnight feed, Tim got attacked last night. He was physically punched in the stomach. To the point where it left a welt. So it's a pretty intense experience. So still a little tired from lack of sleep today. So just catching everybody up. If anybody has any questions, like I said, go ahead and type them in here, and be happy to answer them. Anything in the chat, Scotty?
Trying to making sure I'm looking at the updated chat. This is updated right here, right?
Yeah. So what was going on last night when you and Scott went upstairs?
We went upstairs just to do a spirit box session while Tim and Dave got ready. We were planning on doing the Ouija Gonsfeld again upstairs, and they needed a little bit to get everything ready. So Scott and I decided to go up and do the spirit box session up in the hell room or the candle room or whatever you want to call it. We were getting some responses, but nothing crazy. So we started kind of telling it that to get ready because Tim was coming with the Ouija and coming with the Dybbuk box. And at that time, we were finishing up. When we were coming downstairs, Dave told us that Tim was being attacked. We came down and he was being extremely aggressive. He told us to get out of the house. So we gave him a little bit of space, but we kept our eye on him just to make sure he was okay. Eventually he calmed down enough to where we could get near him and put some holy water on him and say the St. Benedict's or St. Michael's prayer. And finally, after a little while, he snapped back into himself and was fine. So that was just the beginning of all the experiences last night.
So Tasha is asking, are you worried to sleep tonight because of the activity that has increased?
That is a very good question. We'll see what happens during the investigation tonight. I mean, right now I feel fine. I feel like I could lay in and take a nap, but it's obviously daylight outside, so it's a little different. I think we'll be fine. We're going to take precautions. We're going to salt the floor, salt around our beds, which is supposed to help keep the spirits at bay. We're going to do all of our prayers and holy water and all that before we go to sleep tonight. So I feel fine. That could obviously change if something happens during the night, but I feel pretty confident. I always sleep with my headphones in when I'm in a place like this, so I don't really hear anything. So I mean, for right now, I feel good.
So Happy Girl is asking how can viewers at home protect themselves?
It's all about what you believe in. I won't ever push my beliefs on anybody, but I'm a very religious person. So if I feel like something negative is happening or something bad is there, I always turn to my faith. And like I said, I always have my cross on. So if I feel something, I'll hold my cross and I'll say a prayer. There's other things like sage that we've used before, frankincense, obviously holy water we use pretty regularly, salt. There's a lot of things that even if they don't necessarily work, your belief in them can help make you feel better and keep you protected.
And Franks wants to know, do you think it's going to get worse the longer we stay in this house?
So far, every night has seemed to be just continuing to amplify. So I can't see anything necessarily changing. I'm not sure what the next progression is going to be as far as how it's going to get worse. Having somebody physically punched in the stomach is a pretty big leap. But I don't see it changing. I mean, so far every night it's been something progressively worse. So I mean, that just seems to be the trend.
So why, Vaughn? Why do you all sleep at night when the ghost wants to play?
Just to try to get some rest and be prepared for the next day, the show. I mean,
we never know when it's...
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, we do seem to have activity around 3, but then sometimes it's also, like last night it was, like 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only thing to do would be to stay up until daylight every day and then sleep, but we have stuff we have to do to prep for the next night's show and everything, so we really can't do that. And then, I mean, when it gets to be 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, your body just gets tired and you're just ready to shut down and rest. So I have a feeling even if we went till 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, it would still mess with us regardless.
So Evolkmer wants to know, what can viewers do to alert the other 3 guys when we see one being attacked on the stream? Should there be a system in place? Tweeting, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, really the only way to get a hold of us during that time is to tweet at LiveSciFi. Tim has alerts set up on his phone. I check it pretty regularly. Obviously not when I'm sleeping, but just document. If you see something happening, just make note of everything that's happening. That way, if we go back to review it like we did last night and we say, hey, did anybody see something, then we can go back and reference that and try to figure out what exactly happened.
Cool. David's asking, since we're investigating in such a negative environment, do you feel like something is attached to you, or do you feel like something could attach to you, and how do you avoid that, and how do you deal with that?
I don't right now, no. Excuse me. When I left earlier in the week on Sunday, I felt like something was trying to attach to me or trying to take over me. Like I said, I felt oppressed, like I just wasn't myself. And I felt like it was trying to wear me down to the point where it could just take me over. But since that point, I've just, like I said, I've turned to my faith. I feel a lot stronger about it. I've came back, I've confronted it. I don't feel like there's anything attached to me now. The only way that I feel I can avoid it is just to continue to have faith and continue to take the precautions and not let my guard down and just be in the right mindset. And I can't get back into that freaked out and just like completely out of it zombie mindset that I was.
So Brits is asking, so if a ghost is attracted to their own EVPs and voices, would not the same work for demons and make them gloat about it, possibly bringing out activity?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is a theory that I've heard and I've experimented with, is playing back EVPs in real time so they can hear their own voice. So yeah, I think, especially last night, excuse me, when we were slowing down the spirit box session that we did, we were catching some really, really weird messages that we would not have caught in real time. And after that, it just like the feeling, I mean, it was already a weird feeling, but we were hearing noises on the stairs and voices while we were playing that back. So it may have fed into its own ego or whatever you want to say, and given it a little more strength to do what it did.
Just my personal question, how do you feel right now? Do you feel stronger, more confident than you did the second or third night you were here? You bailed from the house. What makes you hang in there, and what way are you looking at it now?
I mean,
armed yourself
100% better than what I did. I mean, it's like a 180 from where I was at. Like at that point, I mean, I was so just beat down physically and emotionally and spiritually. I was just like I said, I wasn't myself. Like I was pissed off at everybody. I didn't want to be around anybody. I was secluding myself. But once I was able to separate myself from the situation and just look at it from a different perspective and reaffirm my faith and just change my mindset to where even if there is something here and even if it wants to do harm to me, it's not going to be able to do it unless I allow it to do so. So I'm just not allowing myself to get back into that mindset to where I'm weak. So every time that I feel like something's there or if I feel like something bad's going to happen, then for me, I turn to prayer.
So Janice wants to know, are you going to make it through the 3 weeks?
It's not going to be easy, I won't lie, especially if it keeps ramping up the way it is. But yeah, I feel like we're strong enough as a group and we're strong enough individually that we can deal with whatever happens. So yeah, we'll be here the whole time.
So, anything else you want to add?
I think that's about it. Shout out to anybody back in West Virginia, friends, family, teammates watching. Otherwise, thanks everybody for participating. It's a fun part for us to see what you guys are thinking and see where your mind's at, because we were so dead focused on everything going on around us. It's cool to get a different perspective sometimes. So thanks for watching. We'll go ahead and bring in probably Dave for the next one.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Hey, Dave, you want to come in?
Hello everyone, how we doing today?
Okay, Dave, first tell me a little bit, just open it up with what happened, your feeling of last night, how it affected you throughout the night, and how you're feeling right now.
Okay, last night it was really ramped up for me. I feel when me and JJ were down in the basement and we started doing the spirit box and ovulus session, we heard a hiss first of all after, I don't know, approximately 10 minutes into the session. After that I started getting these weird stomach pains and my chest started hurting, and ever since then after that, I mean, my chest and stomach hurt all night, so I think I was affected by something last night for the first time since I've been here as far as being physically affected. It was a little bit unnerving because now, I've seen everyone else get affected, and I was affected last night for the first time. So
cool. So we'll start taking questions from you guys. Let me just start with my fair diva. She wants to know: do you know if the readings you took last night before starting are real, or are they affected by the cell phones, lights, fridge, fuse box?
The readings are real. That's why we do a baseline whenever we come into a location. We get a general baseline, before we start doing anything. All EMF can be affected by devices, okay? Electronic devices, power boxes, anything that puts off an electromagnetic field will affect our readings. But we have noticed steadily as the days go by, the readings seem to be increasing in this house. So as far as that goes, I don't think I don't think our devices or our electronics are going to amp them up that high. There's just no way.
Someone wants to know, I don't know if it's specifically in this house, but have you ever seen full apparition?
No, I have not seen a full-bodied apparition. I wish I would someday.
Let's see. What are the tools? KR4G3 wants to know, what are the tools we're going to use for the next 3 weeks?
We're going to be using a variety of tools. I mean, we use we use a millimeter, we use spirit box, SB7 spirit box, we use various ovuluses. Ovulus 3, I think we have here 2 of those. Millimeter, REM pods. As far as cameras, we have numerous cameras. What else?
A lot of triggers.
Oh yeah, trigger objects. We have Annabelle the doll. I don't know where she's at right now, but she's kind of creepy. She seems to move on her own. We have, of course, the Dybbuk box. We have a Ouija board. We have Gauss meters. We have a static detector. Tonight, I think we're going to use the Connect system for the first time. Tomorrow, I'm sorry. Just all kinds of various devices we're going to try. Anything we can try to elicit a response or capture evidence, we're going to try. That's what we do. Cool.
Now, B. Bremer wants to know, Dave, how has your life changed since ghost hunting?
How's my life changed? I don't know if my life's really changed because I've always been into this since a young man. Other than, I guess you could say I do it more now, and I do it like full time. It's like a full time thing for me now since I'm retired, and this is what I do full time. So I'm very busy at this most of the time.
Sarah wants to know, have you had any good answers off a spirit been good or freaked you guys out?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Have you had a good answers off a spirit been good or freaked out you guys out? I think it's a box, spirit box.
If you're referring to a spirit box, yeah, we've got some crazy responses off spirit boxes that really wig you out when you ask a question and you get an intelligent response from a box that's answering your question. How do you explain that? I mean, it's amazing sometimes. And then, you know, depending what it responds by saying, I mean, I've been pretty freaked out by some of the answers I've received off the spirit box before.
What has, and you've been mentioning this, this is my personal question, each day, there's a lot of firsts for you in this house, and they continue to happen even throughout last night's investigation. What are some of those firsts again?
Oh, yeah. Well, after what happened to Tim early this morning, I saw some light anomalies that, like no other I have ever seen in my experience doing investigating the paranormal. I mean, we actually tracked one of these light anomalies through 3 rooms of the house, and it had a shape and a light in it, a light brightness that I've never seen before. And the size of it was tremendous for what I've seen in my past doing this. I mean, the thing was had to be like this big, you know. It was huge, like the size of a frisbee. And we actually tracked it go between Scott and JJ, go down between them, come back up, track through this room, tracked it all the way through the hallway and back towards the static cam and up and out. I mean, that was amazing. And there was several of those. Some of the camera distortions I saw last night, I've never really seen doing this yet. It appeared to be something clear that you could see through, but yet it was actually covering up some of the items on our table and moving and distorting the camera, so that was very interesting. REM pod hits like I've never seen before. Not temperature, but EMF readings. The highest EMF readings I think I've ever seen in a location so far, as far as a whole location.
Great. She crap 667 wants to know, are you not afraid that this thing will attach to yourself?
Well, I mean, I feel personally there's always a risk of something attaching itself, and it not necessarily even ghost hunting. There's numerous documented cases that things have attached to people that were just, you know, maybe in a cemetery visiting loved ones that, you know, their deceased loved ones. You know, they're just you know, it could happen anytime. You know, so it just depends on the individual, I think, and how you open yourself up or do not open yourself up to something attaching itself to you.
Jang wants to know, do you think that the demons hate you?
Well, from everything I think I know about demons, I mean, it's an evil entity that is bent on destruction. So yeah, I mean, they hate everything good. Anything good they want to destroy. I mean, that's what a demon does. So you know, that in itself answers that question, I feel.
What are your thoughts? Another personal question for myself. What are your thoughts since that crazy night that we had last night? What are your thoughts going into this night? Like, how do you feel? Are you excited as an investigator that the activity has gone up so high? We can really get a lot of evidence, or are you apprehensive?
I'd say I'm excited and just maybe a tad apprehensive that, you know, but not necessarily apprehensive. You know, you don't know. I mean, it seems like it's ramping up every single. The longer we go, the more it's ramping up. So it's exciting, but a little unnerving to say, oh my God, you know, it could go up even higher tonight. So what are we going to see tonight? You know.
Exactly. Tank wants to know, what is the most haunted place that you have investigated?
This one right here so far.
Mine too.
Honestly, I mean, honestly, it is. It's insane so far. So, as far as all the activity we've got.
You have any other thoughts just in your head you want to express to everyone?
No, not really. Just thanks for watching. We really appreciate it, and we hope we get some good evidence for you guys, and we do our best to, you know, document the paranormal for everyone to see. So that's what we do, and you know, keep watching and see what we get.
Sweet. Any shout outs to anyone?
Shout out to my wife Kim and my son Cohen, my cousins Billy, Devin, everybody back home. You know, go Mountaineers, baby.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave.
All right, thank you.
All right, I'm up. Let me fix my hair. Hey guys. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much what they said. For me personally, each day it's becoming more intense here, way more intense. A couple things I've observed is, number one, I'm getting to learn about the house. So I'm getting used to the house, its natural environment. So it's natural noises. It's, you know, just when I first got here, certain noises and certain creaks of the house, I was a little worried about and looking around. So I got used to that. So I can now separate the natural stuff to the paranormal, the odd stuff. And I've also observed certain areas in the house have more activity than others. And for me, I feel it's going in a straight, sort of linear line. If you draw a line from the basement, sort of in this area, straight up to the hell room, this is a pretty active line on each floor. Basement, second floor, and the third floor. Or basement, first floor, second floor. So, questions?
Ginger Simmons wants to know, at what point would you and the others call it quits before the hunt is over? Based on, I guess it comes down to physical attacks, because physical attacks is very unsafe. We would start worrying about our own safety, our own life. My first, and well, I have a lot of firsts here, but as far as, you know, witnessing things. But last night when Tim got punched in the stomach while he was sleeping, that was, I mean, I don't even have the words for that. That was, if that keeps happening, if we're just getting punched in the stomach every night, I mean, that's probably a good indication that we should get out of here. But I was sleeping. I was dead asleep. It was only like 10 minutes. Tim and I went to sleep the latest. So we were heading to bed. I went up to brush my teeth at around 4:50, went to sleep. Must have fell asleep pretty fast because it was only a little bit after 5
that all of a sudden I feel something grab me, and Tim's like, Scott. I'm like, I jump up. I'm like, wow, what's wrong? He goes, something, and he's bent over like this. I'm like, what's going on? I'm still trying to focus because I just woke up from a deep sleep, and he's hunkered over. Like, I just got punched in the stomach, and like, what do? You can't. Dave got off the couch, took his shirt off. I didn't realize that until I watched the feed. Like, who's that guy with no shirt? But he was ready to fight. But like, that's our instinct. Is like, we got to protect our friends. But how do you fight? You know, something that can affect you physically, and you can't see them. That's pretty frightening.
That's a personal question for me. You're obviously a filmmaker and documentarian, and you want to capture everything that happens. In that situation, when your friend's been attacked, how do you separate the two? Like, how do you?
It's hard because I can feel both sides of that being pulled. Like, my first concern that's, you know, definitely overpowers anything else is safe. Is he okay? You know, is he safe? Then my second thing is like document, you know, as far as, because we're here to collect evidence. And I also have to remind myself there can be like some really crazy shit that happens to us. And if we're not documenting, we're not doing our job. And that definitely comes in second, but first is safety. We have to know if the person's okay, you know, and that's instinctive.
Let's see here. Wibida Photo wants to know if there's any smell when spirits are near.
Yeah, you know, there's definitely, in my past experience, definitely a sulfur or an odor that could happen, that can coincide with temperature change. For sure. I really, in this place, I haven't smelt a bad odor. Have you?
No.
Except for, we had like a dead squirrel and stuff in the fireplace. But other than that, yeah.
So last night, the basement door was moving by itself, and we were all focused in there. And you said you saw was a face looking out.
Well, what I thought I saw was incredible. I still can't. I'm not convinced, you know, if it was my eyes playing tricks on me. But after we were doing that test to see how the door could have closed, if this was the basement door going down, and this is the door, I thought I saw this, like something pop out, look at us, and then go right back into the basement. And wow, I mean, I couldn't tell you what it was. I don't know if it was female. I know it looked like a small framed being. It was freaky.
So Happy Girl wanted to know, what was your first thought when you saw that?
My first thought in my head was demon. I thought I saw a demon. That was the first thought.
Joy Woodworth wants to know, is there only one person being targeted, and why?
I think we're all getting our share. Some worse than others. I've got attacked at some level a few nights ago when I felt like something passed through me and I choked up and was basically crying. And that was just weird. I still have to process that. Jonathan, something very similar, but it was prolonged for many hours, and until he kind of broke down and left the house, and we didn't know if we'll ever see him again, you know, for this investigation. But we're worried about him. Tim, you know, scratches, punch. I think he's getting the worst physical attacks. And Dave has been feeling some emotional or some, you know, chest tightness and things pulling on him. So they're around us. But I think Tim might be getting the most out of all of us.
Let's see. Jang Soap wants to know about some of the traps and baits we use to anger the evil spirits. Like the prayers and stuff.
Yeah, so we use a lot of trigger objects. I mean, we use the Dybbuk box. As I don't know if all of you know, this house, for some reason, it's documented that the house would become more active around Jewish holidays. So that's one theory we wanted to test. So we're using a lot of Hebrew or Jewish related trigger objects to see if we can increase activity here. We're using Hebrew prayer. We're using Arabic. We used, what is it? Arabic exorcists or Islamic exorcist chants. A lot of religious related trigger objects, along with, we have our doll. What else do we have? Ourselves.
Yeah. Cat Storm wants to know, when something passed through you, did you see anything, or was it just like the feeling that you...
No, it was just a feeling. I was filming, so usually when I'm on the camera, I'm concentrating, making sure I'm, getting the shot. And all of a sudden, what I first felt was the energy increased in the room. Just it's very staticky and felt tingly. And I usually feel that when there's high energy or high activity that's building in a room. Then right after that, all of a sudden, it was, just like a train went through me. And I'm shooting, so the last thing I want to do is to drop the camera and lose the shot. And so I was suffering for a little, because if I was alone, I would have just collapsed on the ground and cried in a ball. But since I was shooting, since I was investigating, I was fighting it, and that's what made me choke up, and I couldn't fight it anymore. I was just overwhelmed with despair.
Looks like that's about it. Any last thoughts? Anything you're looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, guys, we're, even though there's a part of us that is definitely nervous about our own safety in this house, but there's definitely another part of us that we are excited, because we're getting a lot of activity, and we're going to do our best to document and get evidence for you guys to look at. Also, this house is really active. Please keep an eye on all the cameras. Just document, maybe write down times when you saw that. If you don't see a time code, just write it down, like East Coast time at this and that. Yeah, East Coast or West Coast. You're going to see something in this house. There's a lot of activity in those orbs that we saw last night. Just look at the orbs. Sometimes we don't even, orbs are usually dust particles or rain or something else, but this house has like legit light anomalies floating around. So yeah, we're excited to investigate tonight and to see if we can figure out who's attacking us, especially when we sleep. And that's it. I'll see you tonight, guys.
All right, thanks. I think Tim's up next. Timbo.
See Tim.
Big heart health benefit.
Put those commercials. 1 second, yes, I'm just getting my computer. Alright, what's up, you guys? How's it going? This is Tim from LiveSciFi.tv. This is day 2 of our Q&A, and had a crazy night last night. All kind of started with, we had a viewer who sent in some, it was like Arabic jinn exorcism music or a prayer that he wanted us to play during the live feed. And things got really kind of hairy down in the basement. Picked up a lot of weird responses. For those that don't know, I have a son at home, and as soon as I heard that name come through the box, I decided to cut the session. So after I cut it, unbeknownst to me, Scott and Jonathan were upstairs, pretty much provoking, using my name, saying I was going to go up there and raise hell. And I got attacked outside and kind of lost control for a bit. And later last night, for those that don't know, I was answering tweets and stuff like that and sending out emails to the viewers that were asking questions and trying to catch up with all that stuff. And for those that send us tweets and stuff like that, if we can't get back to them, I would try our best to get back to every single person that sends us a question or has a tip for us. So I was like, up till basically 5 in the morning on my phone in my bed, trying to get back to everyone. So when I was doing that, the first thing I encountered was it sounded like breathing, like right on my face, and I first just kind of shrugged it off and tried to not pay attention to it, but then I started feeling the actual breaths on my face, and I got pretty freaked out. So I said, "Hey Dave," because I thought Dave was awake, and he's like, "Yeah," and like, "Do you see anything?" He's like, "No." So then I went, back to my other position, and I tried to, just not focus on it, and I could start to feel like it felt like things on my sleeping bag, and I could actually hear my sleeping bag kind of move around even though I wasn't moving. And about 5 minutes after that, I got punched in the stomach. Like, I was wide awake, and something just basically nailed me in the stomach. And it was pretty brutal. I haven't been punched in the stomach since high school or something like that. Lost my breath, and it took me about 5 minutes to gather it. I was trying to wake up the people that were sleeping downstairs, and nobody was coming. Finally, Scott was able to get up, and then we checked the DVR footage. And I'm not a big believer in orb activity, but there were a lot of weird anomalies that were either coming out of the area that I was in and circling around, or just weird dark mists that were kind of disrupting the video. So I don't know what it was or what happened, but that to me was pretty creepy.
Baller wants to know, do you think there's a reason why it's targeting you, or do you feel like it's...
I don't know. I mean, we introduced the Dybbuk box last night. We did so many different things. We introduced the Dybbuk box. We had the music going on last night. You guys were upstairs, and when we replayed the audio, my voice was on it saying can't hear me or can't hear it or something, which wasn't even my voice. I mean, Dave and I were outside, and we weren't even talking about the investigation. We were talking about HARP or something, and alien phenomena. No, Zap is asking, hey, does any of your team take medication, prescribed or otherwise? No, we don't take any drugs or anything like that. So, I'm not even taking allergy medication right now. So, yeah, that's the worst I've ever been attacked on an investigation, physically. It's pretty, pretty shocking. I mean, it kind of scared the shit out of me because I was just laying in bed, and I've done boxing before, taken boxing classes up in Berkeley, and it's a lot different because when the punches are coming. But I was just kind of in a relaxed state, getting ready for bed, and the last thing you expect to feel is getting punched in the stomach. And it was really strange because when the punch wasn't just a punch on the exterior, it felt like it went through my whole stomach. And I thought for a while, I kept saying it felt like it moved some of my organs around. It was pretty strange.
Happy Girl wants to know, is there any evidence that there's voodoo? And
we haven't found any yet, and we did get the previous owners had found a tin box that had some human molars in it with chicken bones, but we ourselves haven't found any physical evidence of any type of voodoo practice. However, we did get some ghost box responses when we asked what's going on with the house, and it was saying something to the extent that there was a curse placed on the land.
She-Crap667, do you think you were to open to get contact unknowing?
No, I don't think I just think I was in the wrong place at the wrong time with the punch. I felt like last night when I actually wanted to go brush my teeth before I went to bed, I felt that there was something kind of watching me, and I felt more kind of nervous than what I normally did. Yeah, we got the event on camera, and we're going to actually we're not even doing like an edit, we're just going to pretty much download it and piece it together, and that way everyone can see the event like uncut on the feed. And it happened at about 5:10 in the morning, 5:05 in the morning. And
what are you planning for tonight's hunt, your next?
Well, anybody that knows me knows I don't back down. So I'm pretty much go even harder than what I did last night. I'm not going to slow down at all. And if anything, I'm going to try a lot of the same things and same devices and same techniques that we used last night, just to see if we can replicate it. So if we can replicate it, then that would be a pretty cool event. And tomorrow night we're going to be using the Connect and stuff like that. So maybe we'll have the Connect in here while we're sleeping.
And explain the Connect to people.
The Connect is anybody who has an Xbox has probably used the Connect. It's a motion activated kind of like IR tracking device that it's kind of like 3D imaging, in the fact that it throws out, it emits a bunch of little light balls, and when the light balls are tripped, it starts tracking them, and it starts trying to see if there's any correlations between different other balls that are tripped. So if they are tripped, it'll start to project and track the movements of these anomalies. So if you're playing like a video game, let's say, and you're like throwing a football, you make the motion, it'll actually once it identifies you as like a human, you can actually start playing the game, start throwing footballs or whatever. So we've used it before. It does have kind of like some false positives to it that we've kind of discovered, that one of them being that you can't use it where there are any reflective surfaces, because if you use it where there's a reflective surface, it'll actually start to it'll look like stuff is going on when it's not. So we're going to probably use it in here and upstairs. In the basement, I don't think it's necessarily a good idea because there's the furnace and pipes and all that, so it's probably not the best place to use it.
And here's a question from me. What up to now that you've been here 5+ days, what do you think is the main negative energy in the house? Is it a demon? Is it deity? Is it? I
think it's like a demon, deity, soul collector. I was talking to one of my friends this morning who's a pretty well-known psychic and intuitive. She was saying that she thinks that there's a soul collector here. And when I did the Gonfield and Ouija the other night, when I looked into the dead that were around in this room here, their eyes were stone, like kind of like a white granite stone. And she said that's, I'd never heard of this, but she said that symbolizes that they're actually controlled and possessed by another entity.
And do you have any thoughts right now, just expressing?
Yeah, my thoughts is that I want to thank all the viewers and stuff like that who watch the show and support the show. We really, even last night, the guy who I had never seen before in the chat room who sent over that Arabic exorcism tape. It was really interesting to try that and to experiment with that. So we're open to experimenting with a lot of different things. So if anybody has any ideas, essentially, without you guys, we would not be able to do this. So, or to try, or to get these things.
And should they tweet it? Should they email it? How can people out there get us information?
Oh, they can email me at LiveSciFi@gmail. They can tweet us at LiveSciFi. They can also go onto the forums. There's been a couple people have been posting up screen caps from the investigation, which have been pretty cool. I mean, several people have caught shadow figures. I think Cloud caught a like a dark kind of misty looking thing over in this area on the security cam. Hey, Shadow Violet. The house is pretty active. I mean, I never feel safe in this house. Rachel Halverson asks, is the house active during the day? The house is active all the time. You know, I think we go crazy in here if we just constantly, like 24 hours a day, focused on the activity. So we're trying to, you know, do the best that we can. Last night, you know, I didn't get any sleep. I'm still wearing my PJs right now. It's like almost 5 o'clock. So I got to take a shower. I mean, I feel like shit. I'm gonna probably just take a couple 5 hours tonight and start investigating. Yeah, we bought like tonight. It was strange. I was telling Scott last night, you know, it was strange because normally when we do the Sally House in the past, when we did the Sally House investigations, we would always sprinkle, or I would sprinkle salt around my bed. And for some reason, I just didn't do it here. And whenever I do that at the Sally House, I would never have any issues at night. So I think that's what I'm going to start doing at night, is just start making a circle around my my bed. We bought some kosher. It's probably not the best thing either. Jewish kosher. I just thought of that. Yeah, this house for whatever reason hates anything like Jewish related, so probably not a good idea to use. Man, I just thought of that. So
I thought it was the most powerful. Oh, it was
powerful. How many entities are there? Well, the psychic intuitive said there's like 11 spirits here and that soul collector. So, you know.
I've lost the questions.
Yeah, it's all right. So, and you know, you guys, I'm working on a chat solution. I know a lot of people are having issues. Don't think that I'm turning a blind eye to the YouTube chat. I know a lot of you guys are having issues with like spam and stuff like that. So we're addressing them, and hopefully we should get them corrected sometime this week. You know, so we're trying our best, and we're you know, we're addressing it. So just hang in there. David Wright asks, why did you choose this house in particular? I like choosing, you know, some of the most extreme locations and ones that haven't been really investigated that much to death. You know, lots of times what you see on TV are just, you know, places that look good on camera or whatever. But I chose this place because, one, it hadn't been investigated that much since the 70s. Two, you know, the activities seem to be really similar in terms of the claims as to some of the other places where we caught evidence. And three, just the opportunity to spend a place in a month and really document all the activity at the house. You know, most of the times when people go out to locations, they spend, you know, a night there, or, you know, in the case that we did, the Sally House, we spent a couple of days there. But this place we're able to do for a month and really verify and document not only previous owners' claims but also our own. So it's a real chance of a lifetime. The house was built in the 1860s by a well-to-do person, and you know, so it's almost 150 years old, and it's just loaded with activity. Tonight we're going to be doing our first giveaway. Scott's going to be giving away his underwear from the night before.
My CKs?
Yeah, your CKs. So, no, we're going to be giving away a t-shirt tonight. So, yeah, we're going to be giving away a t-shirt, and we're going to put a post up on Facebook, and basically the giveaway will entail you just sharing the post. So whoever shares the post, we're going to randomly pick one of the people, and we'll be announcing it. And if those people don't respond in chat, we'll be doing it again and again until somebody wants one of our t-shirts. So no, we don't believe in cleansing houses. We don't do cleansing. We only document activity. I don't know anything about cleansing. You know, so we don't cleanse houses. We have other people do that, and that's not really my forte. My forte is just to get in there, experience and document the activity as best we can, and then get out. So, yep. So we're gonna we're barbecuing right now. So we're gonna eat, and I'm gonna take a shower, and yeah, we're gonna be back soon. So basically, what's gonna happen now is if you guys, we're gonna switch over to the static cams for a bit, and then you know, if you guys are up for it tonight at 9 o'clock, all throughout this month, we're gonna be keeping up with the schedule. So we will see you guys soon. Yeah, we have to do a UK tour, David. Yeah, I've never been to the UK. Yeah, I'll sign it if you guys want me to. If you don't want my signature, we won't sign it, so. Alright, you guys. So, thank you guys for tuning in. And if you guys get a chance, please like the video and subscribe. And check out our Google Plus page. Alright, guys, peace.